I am here to give you some insight into the entrepreneurial world. But first, I want to start with a question. And the question is, how many of you have ever had this crazy idea at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, I want to quit my job. I don't like what I'm doing. I want to become an entrepreneur. Does that ever happen to anybody? It happened to me. All right. So what are you going to be learning today? Today, you're going to be learning, you're going to get inspiration and motivation. And I'm going to ignite your entrepreneurial spirit for those of you that are just starting. I'm going to give you valuable insight and enhance your understanding of the entrepreneurial journey through real life lessons. And I'm going to give you practical strategies to uncover actionable steps to navigate uncertainties, okay, and financial hurdles. So all those things we're going to learn here tonight, okay? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and how I started into my journey. I was a teacher for 10 years in New York. I lived in New York. I grew up in New York, and I taught, and that was my passion for 10 years. And then one day, I had this crazy idea that I didn't want to teach anymore. I wanted to do something for myself. And then I was married at the time, so my husband at that time, he was a full-force entrepreneur. We had a little business in New York, and so he said, you know what, we're moving to Florida, and we're going to become two successful business people. And I'm like, how do you do that, right? How do you do that? I only know how to teach. And he's like, you can do it. You got what it takes. Let's go. So that's what I did. I ended up in Florida. So what happened was that I transitioned from being a teacher to becoming an entrepreneur. And so we purchased two well-established hair salons in Miami. But I had no prior experience. Remember, I was a teacher. I didn't know anything about business. And my husband knew a little bit, but he wasn't so savvy. We went from like a little mom and pop's barbershop to like two huge salons, right? And so I had no experience in the management or the beauty field. But we did move with a lot of hopes and aspiration and thinking that everything was going to go well. So what happened was that happened in 2008. Everything went wrong, right? So here we are, two newbies in the entrepreneur journey with a huge loan that we took from the SBA and two huge salons that we didn't even know how to manage, and the market crashed. So immediately we started seeing the effect of that, right? So we had limited knowledge that led to setbacks. And of course, financial challenges, because how are we going to cover all these expenses? We took out a huge loan. We used our credit cards. We did everything possible to get these two huge businesses because they were already flourishing. So in our mind, all we had to do was just, in my case, look pretty. And in his case, work, right? So we thought it was going to be easy. But the lack of experience and, of course, the decline in business was already the very first setback that we had, right? And then, of course, that brought emotional challenge and a lot of fear because we're like, what are we going to do now? How are we going to do this? Like, I don't know anything about business. I just know how to teach. I used to use that a lot, right? Because that's what I knew how to do. And so we had lack of clarity, and we didn't even have a roadmap. We didn't. We thought things were going to work out. We had a vision that wasn't even clear. And when the market crashed, we fell flat in our faces, and that became a problem. Everything in life, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So remember that. Okay, great. So this is why I created these 10 steps that I think are crucial when you're thinking of becoming an entrepreneur or even when you are in business. Because if you don't follow this plan, then you are putting yourself out there for some trouble, okay? So let's look at the first step. The first step is define your vision and your passion. Your vision and passion are the foundation for your entrepreneurial journey, right? So I always like to start with your why. Why are you going into business, right? If you asked me in 2008, when we decided to go into business, Lucy, why? And I'm like, well, because I don't want to be a teacher anymore, because I want freedom, because I want to make a lot of money. But those were vain whys. That's not a real why. You don't go into business because you want to look at the beautiful aspects of it. You go into business because you have a passion for what you're doing, and because you know that no matter what happens, your passion is going to be so strong that you're going to pull through. Right? And I was lacking that. I didn't have that. My husband did at that time. He knew he was in the beauty field. He liked it. And so I went behind his vision. But this was a partnership. So one person with a vision and the other one without a vision didn't really work out, right? So it provides direction and purpose, and it aligns your efforts with your goals. So when you have a vision, when you have a clear vision, I always like to use this. When your vision is clear, the results will appear, right? Now, why is this important? It's important because it helps you make smart choices, right? When you are in business, you want to make the best choices. Maybe they're not perfect, but you want to make the best choices that are going to work for your company, right? When you have a clear and defined vision and passion, it helps you stay energized, right? It makes it easier to reach your goals, right? When you have a clear vision, you are able to set goals. Also, it allows you to think outside the box. The most creative people are the ones that are passionate about what they do. And of course, it helps you to bounce back. Now, let's say that you're like, okay, but I have an idea, but I don't know if I'm passionate about it, if this is going to work out for me, So how do you define your vision and your passion? How do you do it? Well, it's simple. You have to ask yourself the hard questions. I always whenever I'm in a situation of doubt, I ask myself the hard questions. And these are the hard questions for this. What problem do you want to solve, right? Because everybody has a problem there. There's a problem for everything. So what is the problem that you want to solve? How do you want to make a positive impact? How are you going to help the people in your community, right? And what makes you excited? What is that one thing that, when I think about it, it gets me so excited that I don't even have to think twice. Number 2, something that I didn't even know what it was. Conduct thorough market research. Now, what is market research? Market research is what allows you to make informed decisions, right? So if I want to start a business, let's say in my case, I have a beauty salon, right? And I want to open up another beauty salon. My first thing is to do a thorough market research so that I know, and I understand my audience. And so that gives me insight into who's my target audience, right? It helps me analyze my competitive landscape. You start creating that, you understand what are their needs. Okay, so in this area, there are tons of salons, but they don't offer this service. So I want to offer this. So you analyze the competitive landscape. You analyze who is your direct versus indirect competitors. You identify gaps in the market, areas where your unique offering can fill a need, right? So what areas can you fill? What is the need that you can fill in that area? You identify market trends. What's trendy right now? How can I adapt my services to what's trending right now? Seek out opportunities for innovation within your industry. So when you are in this business, in any business, you have to be able to be innovative, right? You have to innovate, because doing the same thing over and over is not going to give you this different results. All right, number 3, develop a comprehensive business plan. I cannot begin to tell you the amount of people that go into business without having a business plan. And I go back to what I said before. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So a business plan, a well-structured business plan, provides a clear outline of your vision, mission, and your objectives, right? And it helps you stay focused and aligned with your goals. So what is a business plan? It's a document that you put together, that you put all the things that you're going to need so that your business runs successfully, right? So why is this important, and what are the benefits? Well, it gives you clarity and vision. You want to have clarity and you want to have vision, as I said before, of what you're doing. You have, it gives you strategic direction, right? So you're able to strategize how you're going to take your business and where you're going to take your business. It attracts investors. If you ever want to have people invest in your company, they're going to want to know. They're going to want to see a business plan, and they're going to want to see where you're taking your company, right? Risk mitigation. If something goes wrong, at least you know how to navigate, right? It allows you to avoid certain conflicts in the future. So it's important. Operational management. You have a plan in place. How are you going to operate your business? It gives you that flexibility. Financial planning. Again, you have to know your projections. You have to know your financials to be able to present it to the bank, to be able to present it to an investor. But if you're not clear, then that's a problem. So it's important that you have your business plan, because it also allows you to perform tracking. Track your business. How is it doing? Am I doing what I plan to do? Am I following my plan? Am I getting out of my plan? Why is it working? Why is it not working? It's like it gives you that direction, and it gives you that center that you're doing it right. Okay? And of course, it helps you to adapt and grow, right? It helps you adapt and grow based on what's working and what's not working. So your journey to entrepreneurial success begins with a well-crafted business plan. The people that you need to surround yourself with are people that are supportive and that can guide you and inspire you, right? Those are the people that are going to help you go up, not the people that are going to pull you down. Okay, so it's very important. And what are the benefits of this? Well, you have access to resources. There are a lot of people that have a lot of resources, especially here in the United States, right? We have a lot of resources that we don't know about. There are a lot of business centers. There are a lot of universities here that offers, like, for example, these classes. There are a lot of resources that if you don't connect with other people, you would never know. It gives you knowledge and expertise, right? When you know, you know. When you know, you have power, right? So if you have a group, if I have a network of people that are in the same level, the same business, we can have a conversation about the same thing, and we can feed off each other and give each other ideas, right? You have to find people that support you and encourage you. And that's the bottom line. When you are an entrepreneur, you have to find the right people so that you can stay on track. Because if things are going wrong and you have people that are not supporting you, my God, right? It's hard, right? It's very hard. So how do you build a supportive network? You attend industry events, you join online communities, and you reach out to people that you admire. The next one is embrace continuous learning and skill development. Again, that's what I was saying. You have to make sure that you stay updated in industry trends, emerging technologies, and pertinent business skills, right? Why? What are the benefits? Well, professional growth and personal growth. We always have to be developing our minds, always, even if we're not entrepreneurs. It helps us solve problems and gives us the skills that we need, right? So when you're in leadership, there's going to be tons of problems. Knowing how to handle them and solve them effectively is a different story. It helps you expand your network, right? Because obviously you're dealing with other people that are in the field, and so your network gets bigger and bigger. It increases confidence. When you know, you know. When you know, you have a lot of confidence, right? When you don't know, then you're lacking that confidence. And I'm huge on confidence. As a matter of fact, I just did a conference on confidence. And of course, it enhances decision making, right? You're able to make better decisions as a leader, right? And it gives you the opportunity to innovate and have better business strategies. Isn't that something that we all strive for? Having better business strategies when we are in business, right? All right, number 6, practice effective financial management. Now, I cannot tell you the amount of people that are scared of their financials. Okay? It's scary. It could be scary. Sometimes you look at money and you're like, oh, you start hiding from it. You don't want to look at the bank, right? And the reason is because you don't know how to manage it, right? So when you don't know something, you're frightened by it, right? So this is why it's so important that when you own a business, you are on top of your financial management, because nobody's going to do it better than you. You can assign someone, but then that means that you're leaving your business in the hands of somebody else, right? So it's very important that you understand financial statements. So when I started my journey, do you think I knew this? No. Of course not. I didn't even know what a financial statement was. I had no idea, right? So I didn't know what a financial statement was. I didn't know what budgeting was, right? And budgeting is extremely important. I didn't know what cash flow, the term cash flow management was, right? I didn't know what stability and sustainability was, neither strategic decision-making or risk mitigation. Therefore, I lacked a lot of confidence and a lot of knowledge, right? So the benefit of financial management is that you're able to do all these things. You're able to understand your finances. You're able to budget effectively. You're able to understand your cash flow. You're able to sustain and have your business stable. You're able to make strategic decisions. And of course, you're able to mitigate risk. So if something's going wrong, I know where the money is. I know how to allocate the money. I know how to move the money. I know how to work it, right? And of course, if I have an investor, it gives them confidence. How do you practice effective financial management? Well, first and foremost, you need a system, right? Because you cannot have it here in your head. You need a system. I personally use QuickBooks, and it helps me track everything that goes in and everything that goes out. The more organized you are with your finances, the better management you have, right? You create a detailed budget, right? You create a budget. How am I going to distribute my money? Where am I going to allocate, whether it's for advertising, whether it's for product costs, whatever it is, you're able to allocate your money, right? You diversify revenues of streams. What other areas, right? So if I have in my hair salon, what other areas what other opportunities can I generate money with, right? And create an emergency fund. It's important. Sometimes things happen like COVID, right? And so a lot of people didn't have emergency funds. And so then they were stuck. So it's important that we always create an emergency fund for the mishaps, because it happens. And of course, if you don't know how to do it, because sometimes it's scary and sometimes it's a lot, you hire someone. But you hire someone with the understanding that you know at least the basics. Manage your time effectively. Now, this one is very important, because one of the things that I thought when I started was that I was going to have all the time in the world, and that I was going to make my own schedule as a business owner, and that I was going to go in when I wanted, and I was going to leave when I wanted. And that is true. You can do that. You can do that as a business owner, but then there are consequences. So learning to manage your time effectively, because time is your most valuable asset. Now, how do you learn to maximize your time, right? Well, and why is it important? It's important because it boosts your productivity. If you have effective time management, you are more productive, right? Can guarantee you that. You set yourself a time. You say, you know what? I am going to work on this, and you become productive, right? You make smart decisions. Why? Because you don't have to make them in a rush. When you are not on top of your time and things happen, you have to make decisions that might not be the best decisions at your time, but that's because of lack of time planning, right? Your goal achievement, you set yourself for goals, right? You have goals for now, for the quarter, for the year, for next year, right? That gives you time. That you do that with time. It alleviates stress. Let's face it, when you're an entrepreneur, you have a lot of stress. I can vouch for that. Right? But when you have control of your time, right, and you have good time management, then that stress diminishes, okay? You're able to spot opportunities, right? Because you're not so stressed about time and the things that you have to do. You pace yourself well enough so that you know that you can go out there and see what opportunities you can explore. And of course, my favorite, it gives you a better work-life balance, which is so hard to do, especially for us women. Okay. All right. First, you have to prioritize tasks. I always say you can do everything, but not everything at the same time. Right. So you have to prioritize what's important. You create a schedule, right? Every morning when I go into the salon, because I do coaching and I do the salon, I create a schedule of things that I need to do. And of course, minimize distractions. Oh my God, with social media and the computer and online shopping, we have so many distractions, right? Use time blocks. So does anybody know what time block is? No matter what's happening out there, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to focus this and I'm going to finish this. You delegate wisely. Now, as entrepreneurs, and I can tell you because I'm guilty of that, one of the things that was the hardest for me was learning to delegate. Why? Because I thought that nobody could do it better than me. Right? And that nobody's going to put the effort that I put into doing something, right? But what happened, micromanagement, totally. But what happens is that you end up burnt out because you have all the responsibilities. And of course, my favorite, invest on self-care. You have to invest on self-care. Now, self-care doesn't mean that you have to go out shopping and do all these crazy things. No. Self-care means that you're taking care of your well-being. Number 8, embrace new ideas and be flexible. Okay, so embrace new ideas and be flexible. Embracing new ideas and being open to change is crucial, right? Why? Well, first of all, we have to innovate because we create value, we stand out and improve our business by trying new things. If you don't try new things, you never know what's going to work. And we have to adapt, right? Nothing is ever linear, right? Sometimes things go like this, right, Maurice? Like, right? What you told me, right? So, all the time, right? So you have to be able to adapt. And you have to change your approach when needed and experiment and use new technologies. Now with the example of the artificial intelligence, how do we innovate and be open to change? Well, we encourage new ideas. Like I said, we don't know it all. right? I can always learn from you. You can always learn from me. I can learn from you. It doesn't mean that just because I've been here for 16 years in this business that I'm not going to learn from someone that just started. No. Experiment. So try things new. If something doesn't work, you try something else and you keep trying. And that's what business does. It is, right? You keep trying until you get it right. So you experiment. Embrace technology. Like I said, we have so many technology now that we can use, right? And of course, follow trends. What are the trends out there? And how can I follow them to better my business? Number 9, and to me, this one is one of the most important ones. Cultivate resilience and perseverance. Building resilience and perseverance is key to overcoming obstacles and reaching your goals. Now, when you become an entrepreneur, life is not always rose colors. No, you have your ups and you have your downs, and sometimes you have more downs than up. Right? Now, when you cultivate resilience, you have the ability to bounce back from any setback, and you embrace a positive mindset, right? And you learn from your mistakes. And that is what resilience is. Being able to bounce back regardless of what happened, right? And perseverance is pushing forward in tough times, showing grit and determination to achieve your goal. So no matter what happens, I am so determined to reach my goal that nobody's going to stop me. And that's the attitude, right? So that's the attitude of someone who's perseverance, somebody who perseveres, right? So building resilience and perseverance are the two most important things, right? Because resilience helps entrepreneurs turn challenges into growth opportunities. Sometimes when you are in the darkest moments, that's when the best ideas come. You're like, oh my God, I think my business is going to fail. But wait a minute, I just had this great idea. And you turn that terrible thing into a great opportunity, right? And so while perseverance ensures unwavering dedication to long-term goals despite the obstacles. So you know what? Maybe right now my business is not doing well, but I am certain. I have such a passion for what I'm doing that I know that I'm going to turn things around. How do you cultivate resilience and perseverance? Well, the first thing starts with the mind, as we were conversing earlier today, right? Develop a positive mindset. You have to work on yourself. If you don't work on your mindset, you're never going to make anything. Learn from your mistakes. Who hasn't here made a mistake? We all have, right? And sometimes we make the mistake twice. Can you believe that? Right? Isn't that insane? But we have to learn con la misma piedra, ¿verdad? But you have to learn, what is this mistake teaching me? Okay, what is it? What? Because behind every failure, there's a lesson. And set realistic goals. Because sometimes we want to have these high goals, but they're not even realistic. And then we get disappointed ourselves. And we start comparing, oh, but she's reaching this, but he's doing this. And I'm like, yeah, but what are your goals? Are they reachable? And build a support system. I already told you, the road to entrepreneurship is very lonely. You have to build a supportive group that can help you. It can inspire you when you're feeling down or when you have doubt. Celebrate your achievements. Right? Sometimes we are so into our problems and into our business situations that we forget to celebrate our achievements, right? Now, when we celebrate our achievements, it helps us stay motivated and focused in our goals. But if we're focused on just the bad things that happen to us, then that becomes a problem because that leads to burnout. But we have to find a way to celebrate. At the beginning of the year, we always like to do the vision board, right? As a matter of fact, we did one not too long ago. We do our vision board for the year, and we put these nice pictures and an action plan and what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the things that I like to do, right, and I do it on my phone, is a win board. Okay, and what is a win board? A win board, it's like a vision board, except that I'm going to put all my wins. Celebrate your achievements. Nobody's going to celebrate you better than you. Okay, nobody. It doesn't matter if it's your mom or your sister. They might celebrate you, but not better than you, right? So learn how to celebrate your achievements. That's important. Celebrate with your team. When something goes well in your business, it doesn't have to be something enormous. It could be a small win. All right, so I want to leave you with just a little quote that says, embarking on the entrepreneurial role brings a roller coaster of emotions, excitement, fears, and nervousness. Yet with a vision, passion, and a well-structured roadmap, their journey becomes not only easier, but also entirely achievable. Okay, so all you need is a good roadmap, and you are in the right path to success. Okay? And I leave you with that. Thank you so much for being here and for taking the time.